Hello and a very good morning to you. Welcome, welcome, welcome on this beautiful Sunday, sunny morning. I hope you're all good. Patricia's asked me to do a little talk with you. So I'm going to do a talk and some meditation. And I'm going to do an eclipse special with you. We have a solar eclipse this Thursday, the 20th of April. And the solar eclipse occurs, of course, when the moon travels in front of the sun. So the Earth, moon, sun behind it, and of course the moon there is blocking the sun. Now, obviously, I don't advise anyone to look at a solar eclipse unless you've got the proper gear, not just sunglasses, you need special glasses to look at that. It really damages the cells of the retina. But this video is not about that. This video is about what an eclipse does and what we can do. Solar eclipses, personally, I love them. I love them. I think they're very energizing and they allow you to really tap into your soul purpose. So this video is going to be about soul purpose, really. That's what we're visiting. And many of you might be thinking in recent times, like, what is my purpose here? What am I here to do? Or you might be thinking, well, do I have a slightly different purpose now? Has life changed for me somehow? So we're going to address that. We're going to do a really beautiful meditation and take you into a nice theta state, and we're going to do a little bit of work around that. The eclipses do affect our energy, and I'm going to do two parts to this video. You've got me today, and you've also got me next Sunday morning as well. Hopefully the sun will be shining, and we're looking at something different. And our focus then will be changing as we look to the lunar eclipse, which is at the beginning of May. The lunar eclipse for me, well, not to give you an expectation, but for me, I always find the lunar eclipse to be slightly more challenging than the solar eclipse. The solar eclipse really energizes me, and I don't know if it's just because I'm a sun worshipper, a Leo, or because the sun really activates our DNA and tunes us into our purpose and energizes that. You could even say, actually, a solar eclipse is like a triple new moon in terms of its energy for manifesting and for you to be on your path. It's going to show you, if you're not on your path. But the lunar eclipse is particularly emotional. So if you've been going through a lot, I remember last year I had quite a difficult year, and I remember the lunar eclipse just, I had to take a couple of wee days off. I was prepared for it, and do a lot of self-healing because whatever had been going on in the previous year was coming up to be cleared with the lunar eclipse. So the lunar eclipse is always going to be with emotion. The moon regulates water, the tides, all the emotions. The solar eclipse is different though. I mean, I just feel it to be a really wonderful experience, quite energizing. So, I might wake up at 5:30 or 6 in the morning, and if it's a nice morning, go for a walk, and it just feels more energetic and more positive as well, although it can bring up some feelings for some people. Some people are quite affected. What might complicate things a little bit is that Mercury goes into retrograde come the 17th of June. 17th of April. I was skipping to summer here. Feels like summer, but it's not yet. 17th of April, Mercury goes into retrograde. So when retrograde is moving back the way of course, it's actually an optical illusion. The planet doesn't go backwards. It's just the way that it orbits and the way that we orbit. It looks like it's going backwards, but energetically, when we have a retrograde, it has a huge impact on things. And like the solar eclipse, in fact, it can really impact on technology, can really impact on how sensitive you feel to the internet. Sometimes we can lose data easy. You can send an email and it doesn't go. And it is a thing, really, not just an excuse. Back things up when Mercury's in retrograde. And when Mercury's in retrograde, it's all the reword. So it's like revisit, revise, rethink, rest, relax, Reiki, reflexology. I could go on forever with the rewords. when Mercury's in retrograde, we really do go back the way in terms of our emotional experiences and in terms of even people that have been in our life. So maybe as we approach this solar eclipse, because we're in the pre-shadow of Mercury going into retrograde, it may well be that the past is coming up for you in this occasion. It will, for sure, with the lunar eclipse. There is no doubt about it. So there could be people that you've not heard from for years, that are popping up in your dreams, that suddenly get in touch with you the next day, and all these kind of synchronicities. There might be some unfinished business. It may be time to reconnect with someone. It may be time to heal the past. It might be time for forgiveness and letting go. So it's always a very interesting time when we have eclipse season. And just to add to the whole vibration of eclipse season, we've got Mercury in retrograde as well in the mix there too. So we're in for an interesting month, we'll say. It's a good month to check in with our channel here, check in with Patricia, check in with myself at Jason's Meditation Journeys here on YouTube, or you can do that at Synergy Reiki Studio. There's healing lists, and I'll update you on what's going on and what you can expect. But, I think everyone recognizes that the moon impacts on our mood and our feelings and our energy. We all know how we're affected by the full moon, for example. New moons are the same, how they affect the tides, how they affect people, and all the rest of it. Well, the eclipses are just as significant, especially that lunar eclipse. But we're going to focus on the solar eclipse for today. And I'm going to take you on a lovely little guided journey. Have you wondered about your purpose lately? Have you been thinking about it? Because we've had some time to think about things in the last recent few years, haven't we? We've had time to reflect on what we do, who we are, where we're going, what's next. And of course, even with the sort of, I don't want to talk about negativity, but with what is going on around about us in the world, any kind of crisis, for example, we've kind of wondered, well, what is it I'm doing next? What is it I'm going to be doing next? Excuse me just a moment. Hope that works. I'm absolutely blinded by the light. Can't see a thing here. Sky. I've got Sky with me today, see? She's just saying hello to you. But I will pause the video before we go into the actual meditation so that there's no disturbances whatsoever. Hope you don't mind me wearing my sunglasses. The sun has come out and it's quite strong and very, very beautiful. But just to talk a little bit about soul purpose. Soul is you. It's you, and you that comes back again and again and again. And every lifetime our soul develops, and doesn't matter really what we experience, we grow on a soul level. And soul's all about love. It's about the core of you, the heart of you. And although the psyche can be split up into many areas, like we've got the ego or the lower self, our identity, we have the higher self, the higher consciousness, we have different aspects of the subconscious mind, the collective subconscious, and so on and so forth. Soul is your totality. It's everything that you are. And I would say the best way to kind of think about what's my soul purpose is to think about what brings you most joy, what makes you feel most excited. And it might be that you just clock that in a moment of joy, and you might think, and just have a little look at what you're doing, or at where you are when you feel a burst of joy come upon you. Maybe right now doing this. This might be your vocation. This may be what you are here to do in life. I mean, we're talking about vocation. I quite like that term actually, as a job being something that is more sole purpose than just something that pays the bills. To me, that would never work. It's not about paying the bills. Of course, we've got to pay the bills. We've got to do what we can to pay the bills. But I'm not going to do something just to pay the bills. I'm going to do something that makes me feel joyful, excited, and it makes me feel rewarded in some way, that I'm enjoying what I'm doing. It's really important for me to do that. And whenever you find yourself doing stuff that you enjoy or you're excited about, then you're aligned with your soul purpose. So look out for those little moments of joy. What brings you most joy? Because your kind of purpose is in there somewhere. And there might be a variety of different things that bring you joy, if you're anything like me. I mean, another place to look for is your hobbies. What do you do as your hobbies? Now, I'm really lucky because basically I work my hobbies now. You know, I went to university when I was 18. I went to Glasgow University. I studied biology and psychology. I did my teaching degree. I was a lecturer for 18 years, worked for college, university, and school. And I thought, this is my vocation. Teaching definitely is my vocation. There's no doubt about that. But when I stepped back from that to do this, my business, I realized, of course, I'd been doing this as a hobby for so long before it. I thought, it's time to step into that, because that feels still teaching. It still feels really what I'm supposed to be doing, and maybe it's a guidance thing, maybe it's a mentoring thing, um, maybe it's a one-to-one therapy thing, or it's classes, or I'm teaching healing modalities as Philip and myself do. It could be that. So you like in your hobbies and the things that bring you joy and that you absolutely love doing, that's possibly your sole purpose. I also like things like gardening, though. I absolutely love it. And I do a little bit of work with my brother, and we do a lot of joinery and fencing and doing some decking and finding new things to do and interesting things to do, because things have been challenging, and therapists have really felt it, just like many people have. So that's why I think people are doing a bit of soul searching as well, and they're thinking, right, well, what is it I'm here to really, really do? So first of all, follow your joy, follow your passion, follow your excitement. I think it's so important to follow your excitement, and do something that excites you and brings you joy every day, because that way you're aligned easily with your soul purpose. You might ask yourself, why am I here? And what have I still got to do in my lifetime? So I'm in my later 40s now, and I'm thinking, right, well, I've still got a good 20 years work ahead of me, and I want to be making sure that, you know, hopefully I've got those years ahead of me. I want to make sure that I can make the biggest impact in this world as I possibly can, that I can help and assist as many people as I possibly can, and really, truly enjoy doing that. We're all different, aren't we? So it might be that you're changing what you do, you're changing your career, you're thinking about learning something new, some new skills. We're all having to adapt, that's what I'm trying to say. And it's in every level, because of the global situation, we're all having to adapt what we do. There's no doubt about it. But that is a good reason to look at soul purpose. And are we just doing things for the sake of paying bills, or are we doing things to feel completely satisfied in our life, knowing that not only are we doing our own selves good, but we are of service to humanity and to other people? That's where I feel I'm drawn, certainly. If you work in care or NHS and you love that, then you're the same. If you're a therapist, you're the same as well. Um, yeah. So we're going to do a wee meditation in a moment too, and I'm going to take you into a really lovely space, and we're going to do some soul work. But I'd say just a wee bit more advice before I do that. Another way that you can find your soul purpose is through prayer, meditation, working on shadow work. I'm going to do some shadow work with the lunar eclipse next week. That's a wee heads up for you. What we're doing next week, it's going to be a deeper session. I'm going to show you ways that you can work with your shadow self, as Carl Jung called it, the part of you that you want to repress, that you want to keep behind you don't want to acknowledge. And actually, there's some good stuff in. It's not just stuff that you should hide. Although our persona or our mask, we keep the shadow well behind us, and we've got the persona or mask in front of us. Ideally, what we want to do is integrate to have a fully integrated self. We want to drop the persona and we want to be in touch with the shadow. And that's what we're going to do next week. But it's useful to mention this today when we're talking about soul purpose as well, because in your shadow, it's not just things that are like difficult. Like, for example, you might have been told when you were young you were a chatterbox all the time. I heard that constantly. And nothing's changed really, but that could change someone. So you might think, you might go to a meeting at work and you might be doing a presentation. Someone's like, watch you don't run over time, watch you don't talk too much, watch you. And suddenly then it restricts how you are in your personality. And maybe, through projection, through that other person saying that to you, it's showing you that then maybe you feel a little bit uncomfortable with that. But you might be a chatterbox, you might have some good chat and chat that is worth sharing. So it's not all bad stuff in our shadow, and I've got to stress that just now, that it's really quite good. You might also want to play with your inner child to find out your soul purpose. And when your inner child comes out to play, because it feels good, of course, the inner child there. You might want to explore other realms, so altered states of consciousness. And the safest way to do that is to meditate. Of course, there are many ways that you can alter your consciousness. Some people probably altered it on Saturday night with alcohol, but we're talking about doing something that's more spiritual here. And meditation certainly alters your consciousness because you go from the beta brainwave into an alpha, or I'm going to take you deeper into theta brainwave this morning. It's coming soon. It's coming soon. Um, I'm just advice just to take a wee breather sometimes from social media. I don't mean pause this video right now, but just having little breaks, even if it's just like you check your social media, you do your things in the morning and the evening, and during the day you go on with your day, you have maybe allocated times, and you now and again have a wee day off. The various platforms of social media. There are so many of them, isn't it? It's so hard to keep up. I mean, as a business person, I'm looking at WhatsApp, I'm looking at text messages, I'm looking at 5 different Facebook pages and groups and emails. You keep going, eh? Instagram, everything. And it can be quite overwhelming, and it takes us out the moment, doesn't it? It takes us out a moment, and also then it kind of influences how we feel because other people are kind of projecting onto us a lot as well. So taking a wee break, a wee breather from social media, and normal life. A great way to alter your state of consciousness as well is to go into nature. You know how different you feel then when you're in nature. It just does something magical, doesn't it? Hence, I'm sitting out on this nice sunny day today. I really wanted to be in the sunshine talking about the solar eclipse, and I'm blessed that it's sunny today. Another little point is you can use art, music, painting, gardening, photography, whatever it is to express your identity. And anytime that you're expressing your identity, then that's your soul purpose. And you know that I always say, let your ego be your amigo. And it's taken from the Native American Indian saying, if your ego isn't your amigo, then you're in trouble. And that's so true, of course. Ego gets a bit of bad press, but it's actually just our identity. So we've all got soul. And what makes it a wee bit different in this lifetime is your ego. And your ego is your way of expressing soul. But the ego is in a different level from the higher self or the soul, because the ego is very much 3D. And what I mean by that is this material life in this lifetime now, the ego cannot see beyond that. And the ego does, the ego struggles to understand that we have had a past and that life is eternal. The ego is unaware of that completely. And that's why it's so threatened. It's there to keep us safe, but it's threatened quite easily. It doesn't recognize that, we cannot destroy energy. And quantum physicists have showed us this. We cannot destroy energy. We can only change energy in its form. So when we do leave this physical form, this lifetime, we go to spirit, we're changing form. and our soul energetically will go there. It doesn't disappear. Soul's not going anywhere. It ain't going anywhere. Different parts of the psyche can be connected to different parts of the brain. You know, that's fair enough to say. I would suggest to you. Um, like the higher self's probably in the limbic system. Different parts of the brain have got different roles with consciousness. So, the frontal lobes are quite important as well. They're quite evolved and allow us to be or have a conscience and an awareness of other people round about us. People with personality disorders simply have a less developed prefrontal cortex. So that part of their brain's not so well developed, and therefore they could have narcissistic tendencies or they can have personality disorders and so on. The soul is your energy, it's your essence, it's you, and that never changes really. We just add to that with every lifetime that we have, depending on your belief system. But there's mine. I've shared that with you. What I'm saying is, use art, music, painting, gardening, photography, whatever you like doing to express yourself, because that's your sole purpose as well. And if you're into creative stuff, then you're tuned in and you're connected with your soul purpose. And a final note before we get going with our meditation is to observe some stillness, to take some time out. You know, uh, if we're always talking, if we're always busy, if we're always on social media and the various platforms there, then we're not still and we're not completely in the moment and we're not open to receiving information or signals or signs. We might not even notice the signs that illuminate our path and point our soul in a particular direction. So some stillness, some silence, some solitude, and some nature is always good if you're trying to do some soul searching. Overthinking it isn't really, you know. And again, Carl Jung has mentioned them a few times today that we can't actually resolve a problem on the same level of consciousness in which the problem was created. That's a quote from Carl Jung. And it's so true. So actually, a problem that was created through thinking or overthinking, as many humans have a tendency to do, cannot be resolved by more thinking. It's only going to make the problem worse, isn't it? And I often talk about thoughts, 60 to 90,000 thoughts a day on average. 1% of your thinking is fresh from yesterday. 10% of your thinking may be useful ideas, but 90% of most people's thoughts are either at best a waste of time or perhaps pathological, that they can make them ill, whether it's worrying or whether it's anxiety or whether it's depression or, all that negative self-chat, eventually makes us ill. If it doesn't make us ill at an emotional, mental level, it eventually manifest metaphysically within the body, so that we can see that our programs, our thinking, what we're doing, is out of alignment with who we are. So follow your joy. Anything that brings you joy, showing you your soul purpose, and that is what it's all about. I recognise that we have many lifetimes, but of course, next lifetime you're not going to remember this lifetime. So treat this one as your lifetime. Treat this one as your one opportunity to go for it. We know we have more, but the time is now, and now is the time. And if you don't feel excited and joyful and passionate and that you are interested, then you're not following your soul purpose. So maybe some solitude, some meditation, some altered states of consciousness just to get in there. So we're going to alter our state of consciousness in a very safe way in a little moment. And I'm going to guide you into a very special meditation for soul purpose. And I'm going to invite in your ancestors, your spirit guides, spirit helpers, the angels, the guardian angels, and all beings of enlightenment. I'm going to ask the Buddha to come in. I'm going to ask the Christ consciousness to come in here as well. And I can feel that round about me as I speak about it. And you may be feeling the energy of that as well. So we're going to work with that today and a beautiful meditation. which begins with a theta meditation. That's how we're altering our state of consciousness. Going from the thinky brainwave right now, which is the beta brainwave. Fair enough, we need that to survive and be aware of our environment. Go into an alpha brainwave in a moment, and go deep into theta brainwave. And when you go into the theta brainwave, then it's that interface between the conscious and the subconscious. And you experience it naturally every night when you dream. So during REM sleep, that's the theta state. That's the theta brainwave, and your eyes might twitch during that sort of state, as they do. Even your pets, when they dream, you'll notice their eyes twitching, the little paws going. You know how doggies having a little doggy dream. They're in the theta state, in fact. And the purpose of that is like reverse learning. It's about processing whatever has been happening to us, or whether it's today, yesterday. Sometimes it takes me a couple of days to process things more deeply. I think most of us are like that. And sometimes as well, something might trigger us. And again, that's shadow work. Anything that triggers you is just really showing you your shadow. But more on that next Sunday. It gets complicated, but I'm not going to complicate that today. Today's about knowing your soul purpose. And you might find as well when we're in this theta state, because we connect with the great infinite spirit, whatever name you give that, calling it the great infinite spirit, smiling, we're going to connect with that energy. We're going to connect with soul, divinity, divine, source, whatever you want to call it, the great infinite spirit. We're going to go in there. So it's more than just being in the theta brainwave here. We're actually connected to all that is. We're going to connect to everything in the universe. So if you want to get yourself comfortable just now, do it. And if you want to just close your eyes, wherever you may be, this might take us 10 minutes, perhaps 15 minutes, but just taking your time to gently close your eyes and just to be aware of how you're feeling just now in your mind and in your body. And if you notice any tension, just taking a few moments to breathe into that tension until it dissipates. Just taking a few deep breaths into your body, breathing deep into your tummy. If possible, inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And take some full body breaths in your own time. Just imagine that you're breathing into every cell of your body just now. Taking some full body breaths. Allow your tummy to soften and really expand on the in breath. And let your body relax. Let go with the out breath. Feel the muscles let go more and more with every out breath. And as you take your next deep in breath, take it deep into your tummy and hold the breath for just a few moments. And when you're ready, make a sound as you release that breath and or whatever comes to your mind right now. Just make that sound, let your whole body relax with the out breath. Let's do another deep breath like that. In through the nose, deep into the tummy. Really deep breath, full body breath. Hold the breath for a moment or two. And as you exhale, just making that sound. Let your whole body go. And allow yourself to feel truly supported this morning. Truly supported. Notice the contact between your body and whatever's supporting you. If your feet are on the ground, really feel that contact just now. And just imagine that your feet are gently sinking into the earth. And I'd like you to imagine for a moment that we're growing 2 tap roots, big strong tap root growing from each foot. And as you take your next out breath, just imagine the roots going down through the foundations. If you're in nature right now, just imagine them going down through the soil, down into the earth below, connecting with Mother Earth on this beautiful Sunday morning. And imagine your roots growing downward and outward at the same time, like a big strong dandelion root, one from each foot. Imagine your roots growing deeper through the harder soils of the earth, through the minerals, the elements, the crystals, the rocks. Imagine your roots growing through all the layers of the earth. And imagine your roots now connecting with the very heart of Mother Earth, Gaia, the divine feminine energy on this beautiful Sunday morning. I invite you to take a few deep breaths. Imagine that you're breathing in through your roots. You're pulling that earth energy up into your body with each breath. You'll notice that energy coming into your feet. Might feel a little bit tingly, might feel a little bit cool, viscous, fluid-like. It might feel warm to you. Just imagine that energy flowing up your legs, and I'm sure it is automatically. As you breathe in through your roots, pulling the earth energy further up into your body. Imagine it flowing into your thighs, up into your hips. Imagine that energy now flowing into the base of your spine and gently flowing up through your spine, up through all the vertebrae, and through all the chakras, opening the chakras automatically as the earth energy flows all the way up to your crown. You may witness a little bit of a draft or a tingle or energy around your crown. Just imagine again that you're breathing in through your roots and you're pulling the energy in one go all the way up to your crown. That's beautiful. Let's do that one more time, taking a slow, deep breath, really pulling the earth energy up with the in breath. And as you exhale this time, imagine the energy flowing out your crown to surround your body in a beautiful, colourful bubble. Just take a moment to notice the colour of your bubble. It may have a number of colours. It may be iridescent. It may be like a rainbow coloured bubble. Feel the texture of your bubble, the energy all around you just now. I'd like you to imagine that you're just extending your consciousness up, just pushing up with your mind, and you're gently rising in your bubble up to the ceiling. Imagine that you're going up through the roof, above your home. Imagine that you're going above your town, above your country. Imagine that you're going above any clouds way up high. Imagine now that you're traveling beyond the solar system, beyond the sun, the moon, planets, up through the starry skies, like being in a Star Trek voyage with the stars whizzing by you. You may see colours, constellations, you may see sacred geometry, shapes, symbols. Just imagine that you're going up through the universe in your beautiful bubble of light. Imagine that you're going up through darker skies now, and then pushing up through more bright, starry skies. That's beautiful. Imagine now that you're going just a little bit beyond the stars and you're going up through a golden hue, a golden mist. And now imagine that you're going up through some jelly-like substance, which can be any colour, any texture. It may look like the rainbow as you push up through the jelly substance, the laws that govern our universe. And above your head just now, there's a skylight, beautiful pearly iridescent white light. Imagine that you're pushing yourself up through that skylight just now, all the way up into the pearly iridescent white light, into this space of unconditional love and peace. And imagine that you're traveling to the center of this light, like a diamond field of energy, all tingly, sparkly, all around you. And just take a moment to connect with that, to breathe that in, to know that you're one the great infinite spirit, that you're one with unconditional love and peace, that you're one with the universe, you're one with all that is. And all that is, the universe, great infinite spirit, is one with you. Just inviting you to enjoy a moment of connection. You may feel your whole body expand in this beautiful, altered state of consciousness. Enjoy for a few minutes. Enjoy. And I'd like you to imagine just now that you're gently walking forward into a soft, gentle mist. And as you walk through that mist, imagine that you're now walking on a soft lawn of green grass, barefoot, soft green grass underfoot. Imagine you walking across this beautiful lawn. It's a blue sky day. You may hear the birds singing. Imagine as that you walk across this lawn, you can see a few steps taking you down onto shallow river shore. And it's one of those magical rivers that just allow you to float with ease and grace. So imagine that you're wading into the water that's very comfortable and that you decide to just lie on your back, really trust the flow of life, surrender, and allow yourself to just be taken down this meandering path, this beautiful path on this blue sky day. That's awesome. Imagine that you've just been gently brought into another shore, and as you walk out the water, you automatically dry, and you can see 10 stairs in front of you. I'd like you to imagine that you're climbing each of those 10 steps. And at the top of the steps, you're going to find the entrance to your sacred spiritual garden. There may be a wall, there may be a fence, there may be a gate, there may be an arch. Your garden may be familiar, or it may be something new. It's your sacred space, your safe space, where we're going to tap into our soul purpose today. Imagine that you're walking through your garden and just have a sense of how it feels, how you're feeling just now. What season do you think it may be? Does it look like spring, summer, autumn, or winter? Does it feel like spring, summer, autumn, winter? Does it feel like or look like you have a lot of work to do in your garden, some weeding, some pruning, some clearing? Or is your garden sitting pristine? Is it wild? Or is it all manicure? It's got beautiful roses, is it vegetables, rocks, water, trees? Imagine that you're walking through a path right through the centre of your garden just now. And in front of you, you'll see a bench. And I invite you just to sit and relax on that bench. And just now, we're going to call in the ancestors, our spirit guides, helpers, angels, guardian angels, and all enlightened beings of love, Buddha, Christ consciousness, and inviting in the great infinite spirit to be your guide, to help us get some information. I'd like you just to make this little command just now. If you want to say it out loud or in your mind, it's just whatever comes to mind straight away. Very short message you'll get here. I'd like you just to say, Creator of all that is, it is commanded that I receive a message from my higher self. Thank you. It is done. Show me. Maybe a feeling that you have, or you may just receive a couple of words. It's a very, very brief message. Small reading. We're going to do another one now. If you'd like to just take a nice deep breath, deep into your tummy, and as you exhale, relax. Let's just let go of any attempt to receive messages from the higher self. You can always play this back and do it again, of course. Taking another deep breath into your tummy, relaxing a little bit more with the out breath. I'd like you to repeat this command, which just means to make your intention clear. Creator of all that is, it is commanded that I am showing my soul purpose. Thank you. It has been shown me. Some deep breaths, it's just whatever comes to you just now. Impressions, feelings, visions. You may have already received that information. I got personally to educate people and to help people in their journey, beginning to end. While I was meditating with you here, that's what I got. You may have something completely different. Feel free to comment after the video underneath, but let's just stay in the deep state. Take another deep breath in your beautiful garden, surrounded by your guides, surrounded by your ancestors, You may receive a little message from them. You're just giving you a little moment to see if you can connect in or get anything at all. Any impressions, any visions that come to you to help you understand the purpose of your life existence, your soul. It's beautiful. And if you have a presence around you just now, obviously keep connected. Little little thoughts, little triggers here, just thinking about what brings you joy. What, what brings you joy? What purpose is within those hidden, joyful, or passionate moments? Just having a little think in a theta state. What brings you the most joy? What makes you feel most passionate? What makes you feel most excited and glad to be alive? And considering the things that allow you to express yourself, allow you to be who you are, it could be the people in your life. Just connecting in for a little minute and having a little think about, know, what you do, who you do it with, and where you feel most like you. And it could be a place as well, or it could be an activity, something, connection, it could be with a person. It might help you understand who your soulmates are. And finally, we're just going to make another command just to get a little bit of higher information once more. Like you just ask the question or repeat the statement. Creator of all that is, it is commanded that I'm shown ways which I can fully express my sole purpose in this lifetime. Thank you to stand show me. A deep breath and whatever comes to mind. Trust yourself. That's beautiful. And the information may be thoughts, it could be words, it could be imagery, it could be colours. And you may wish to revisit this experience or reflect on it a little bit later. But for just now, just take another deep breath and breathe in all this love in this beautiful, spacious, sacred, spiritual garden. And thank any beings for any information that you've received in this journey today. And imagine that you're walking back through the centre of your garden, back out the entrance, back down the steps, 10 steps back onto the river shore. Imagine now that you're gently floating on that river, floating with ease and grace, truly trusting the flow of life, allowing yourself to let go, allowing the river to take you down its meandering path. And imagine this water to cleanse you in every level, cleanse every cell of your body, bringing in some healing. And imagine yourself just being brought back onto that shore. And as you wade out the water, drying automatically, take those few steps back onto the lawn and allow yourself to walk across that beautiful, soft green grass underfoot. And imagine that you're going through a mist, back into the pearly iridescent white light, the diamond field of energy. Imagine that you're filling your boots, your bags, your pockets, bringing some of this beautiful energy home with you for the eclipse. And imagine now that you're gently dropping back down through the stars, through the universe, and that you can see the beautiful blue planet on the horizon with her magnificent sceneries and landscapes. Imagine that you're coming down through any clouds way up high, if there are any today. And imagine that you are now just above your town, above your home, gently coming back into this space, keeping your eyes closed for a few moments. I invite you to take a nice deep breath, and as you exhale, just imagine that you're sending all your energy back down through the earth, through all the layers of the earth, the soil, the rocks, the crystals, the minerals, the elements, the water, the fire, the lava. Imagine your energy flowing all the way into the heart of Mother Earth, Gaia, on this glorious Sunday morning. And I invite you to take a nice deep breath and bring that grounded energy back up into your body, just feeling it flow into your body, automatically transfer into all the cells of your body, every cell, every molecule, every atom of your being, and every level. And if you like to just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes whenever you feel ready, perhaps rub your legs, and maybe have a nice big stretch. Big stretch upward and outward. Really stretch up. Have those fingers touch the sky. So high. Give your arms and your wrists a little shake up there. You want to do the funky dance, bring some movement back into your body. Lovely. Stretch your legs out as well. Take that opportunity just to give your legs a little stretch. Thank you so much. Just make sure you're feeling completely grounded. Spend a few minutes with your eyes closed, perhaps, just sitting in the space, feeling really supported at this moment, noticing the contact between your body, whatever's supporting you. And I wish you a very, very happy eclipse season. And I hope you can join us again next week for some more. Thanks for joining me. If you like the video, please give us a thumbs up. And if you fancy doing some more work with me, I have an event in May called Magical May Synergy Reiki Studio, and it's on early bird this weekend. If you want to join us, just send me a message and I'll arrange that for you. Thank you so much. Thanks, Patricia. Thanks, everyone. Have a glorious Sunday. Bye for now.